Okay, good afternoon YouTube and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Today we're going to be doing another fragrance review. If you're new to my channel, I mainly review watches because that's my biggest passion, but pretty much I'll put up anything on my channel that has to do with, anything that I purchase, whether it be a TV or a car or whatever. I try to give you my best, I guess. I like to show and tell, basically. It brings me back to being a kid, right? And so the two biggest things that I really collect, that I have a lot of, are watches and colognes. And I just absolutely love the feeling of getting a new watch and wearing a new cologne. I just absolutely love it. And colognes are so much cheaper than watches, so I tend to buy a lot of colognes. And colognes are nice because you can always get a sample from a house when you do a review channel, when you have a review channel like myself. And so I've done many, many reviews on colognes. I don't have the best nose like some of the other guys out there, like Max Forte, and you have like Red Adolescence and Frag Boy Stewie and all those guys who really, I think, do fabulous, fabulous cologne reviews or perfume reviews or fragrance reviews. But I give you, my best judgment of what I smell and what I tell you what I like. And maybe we share similar interests as far as what we like in a cologne. So maybe something I tell you about, you might like, and and vice versa. I love getting the comments, guys. So. One cologne, I kind of stopped buying them for a while. I just kind of stopped for a little bit, buy one here and there. But then last couple of weeks, I just been, I've got new samples. I just put up all kinds of stuff on Scent Story, their newest fragrances. I got Imaginary Authors fragrances to review. I got all the new Zoologist fragrances. So a lot of work I have in front of me. But one of the fragrances I am really, really excited to review here is one that I looked at for a very long time, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. And I'm so glad that I did it because it's just become one of my most favorite fragrances. And the fragrance, it's been reviewed many, many times, but I just want to give you guys my taste on it. Now, if you guys have watched other reviews on colognes, and you have followed that under the playlist Fat Cat Collections Cologne Reviews, if you tend to follow me when it comes to my reviews, you'll know that I tend to like colognes that are more daring. A little more exotic. I tend to like ones that smell different. Don't get me wrong, I do like the aquatics, I do like, your Azzaros, and I mean, one thing I love about fragrances is that when I get one, I always want to get it like a new fragrance when I do something that's going to be a memory. So, for instance, I don't always do that, but it's nice. So, for instance, when I smell Azzaro, Chrome Azzaro, right, or Azzaro Chrome, that takes me right back to my Vegas trip with my girlfriend. And, it was just something she got for me for that trip. And now whenever I smell it, it just fires off those sparks in my brain of a memory. And they're not all colognes I have do that for me, because sometimes I just can't remember. But the major moments, I always tend to do that. And so that's kind of the way I feel about scent. I think scent is extremely powerful. Very strong, and it definitely ingrains and embeds a memory in your brain. And so I do like the ones that are kind of daring and unique. And when I said the Azzaro Chrome, I still like that because it was a hot Vegas day, or Vegas trip. Wearing that nice fresh fragrance was great down there. And so, like I said, every time I smell it, I love it. But it's not my go-to as far as what I like. Like, I still have your Nautica Voyage. I still have your fresh aquatics. And I do like those. I think there's a time and a place for those. Cool Water, classic, right? But I tend to like ones that when people smell me, they're kind of like, whoa, that's different, right? I like to smell unique. And I do like colognes that tend to be more masculine and mature. So with that being said, this was a no-brainer and I had to pick it up. And the cologne we're talking about today is Bentley Intense. And what made me want this cologne too is not only of the reviews I read about it and the video reviews I read and the information on Fragrantica, was I loved how people just compared this to just an older man's scent, and people always compare this to like an old library or something very, very classy, old, nostalgic kind of scent. And I knew I had to have it. I'm glad I bought it because this has turned, I knew as soon as I popped the cap on this, I just knew that this was going to be one of my favorite scents, and I'm really glad I got it. What does this kind of remind me of if I had to compare it to something else in my collection? And again, when I compare it, I'll tell you whether I think it's dead on or if it's just like it reminds me. And what it does kind of remind me of a little bit, as far as the spiciness of it, is going to be your another favorite of mine is Fendi Absoluto, I believe it's called Fendi Absoluto. That one there reminds me of this, but they don't smell anything alike. You just have something similar about them. This is a very boozy, spicy, woody fragrance, and I love it. I've been wearing this one here for about a week since I got it. And I wore it the other day at my parents' house, and my mom first thing says, "Oh, you smell great." And, you know, I always have cologne on, but this one, she gave me that compliment. So let me tell you a little bit about it. Let me show you the bottle first. This bottle is fantastic, and I'm not really a big, you know, a lot of times don't really care about the bottle. What's most important to me is the fragrance, right? And, you know, but this is a really great bottle. The cap is heavy. It clicks on strong. I mean, it's very, very, I guess, fitting for, you know, Bentley Motor Company makes, you know, very amazing vehicles, right? They're very classy, they're of high quality, and this is definitely a high quality bottle. This is not some generic bottle that they just picked up and it's like, all right, well, we're going to sell our fragrance, and the fragrance is going to sell. They really wanted the presentation on this. You have your Bentley logo, your For Men Intense on the front, this nice, this boozy kind of like rum-looking liquid, although it doesn't have rum in it. Your Bentley logo, and of course your knurled cap, very similar to what you might find in one of their automobiles. Beautiful bottle, beautiful. As far as notes in this particular fragrance, I'm going to read you the notes off Fragrantica. It's a great website for stuff like that. I'll read you about it and then the notes, okay? It says, Bentley For Men Intense by Bentley is an oriental spicy fragrance for men. Bentley For Men Intense was launched in 2013. The nose behind this fragrance is, no shock to me, Nathalie Lorson. And Nathalie Lorson makes one of my other, more daring, favorite fragrances, probably one of the most favorite ones in my collection, Encre Noir. It's one of my favorite scents. Let's see. The top notes are bergamot, black pepper, bay leaf. Middle notes are clary sage, African geranium, cinnamon, rum, and woody notes. Base notes are leather, benzoin, incense, cedar, and patchouli. And that's what you get, guys. You get this spicy, masculine, leathery fragrance. Now, I won't say that this fragrance, when I smell it, gives me a ton of leather, but you definitely get that spice, that incense, and that boozy note to it. And you definitely get that wood. Definitely a masculine fragrance, definitely a classy fragrance. Just the kind of fragrance. Now, I wear jeans for the most part, but you can wear this fragrance, suit, jeans, whatever. You wear it when you want to wear it. But I'm telling you, this is a mature scent. And this is a very sophisticated scent, and I absolutely love it. It's become one of my new favorites in my collection. And again, it does have a similar kind of smell to, if you like Fendi, like I said, Fendi Absoluto, you will love this fragrance, and vice versa. So if you have this in your collection, check out that Fendi fragrance. That's an amazing, very similar fragrance as well. This fragrance has been compared to the original Bentley For Men. Now, I'm going to butcher this name, but it's compared to Lubin, if I'm saying that, Idol by Lubin. Another Idol Eau de Parfum by Lubin. It's compared to Chambre Noire Olfactive Studio, and of course Jazz Club by Mason Martin by Giella. They make another one called Bentley Infinite Intense, which I'm kind of, you know, maybe interested to kind of check out now that I smell this. But, you know, sometimes, you know, you get one fragrance just because you like one, you may not like the other. But this is a great fragrance, fantastic. If you want to smell very sophisticated and masculine and very manly and unique, this is a great fragrance for you. What some people have compared this to, or if you look at the write-ups on this on Fragrantica, and don't take my word for it. Remember, I like the fragrances that are spicy, masculine, unique, a little darker. I would say this is a dark fragrance, but this is definitely a mature fragrance. This is far from an aquatic. And I like those orientals and those, you know, those unique, dark, you know, earthy fragrances. I love stuff like that. Rose and oud and stuff like that. So this one is just perfect for my collection. Let's read what some people have to say. Longevity and sillage are amazing. That's true. I've worn this for a week now, and it definitely lasts. Let's see here. So one person smells leather, tobacco, patchouli, and cognac. Great for fall, winter. I don't recommend in summer. In summer I wear it. I recommend it. Boozy, rich, strong, smells of high quality. I wasn't expecting it to be so good. First says, by far one of the best boozy scents I've ever wore. Very sophisticated and excellent projection. I agree. What else we got here? Now this person said, this is one tough review. What I learned is never blind buy. There are lots of positive videos on this fragrance, which let me blind buy. The first blast is something hard to get used to. It's not rum. It must be incense. I don't like it. So, and then that's what's nice about these videos, is because just because I may not review, may not be able to pick out every note that I smell and sit here and pick apart the fragrance. What's nice is the fact that you guys kind of know what I like, and I like to tell you guys what I like, and because sometimes you may smell something that maybe you've smelled a cologne that I have. Like, let's just say, like, for instance, let's just use Bentley Intense, right? Let's say you're like, I smelled that, I don't like it. Like this particular guy, you'll know the things I recommend where I'm like, I really like this based on my taste, that you may not like some of the things that I like. And so it's really good to have a second opinion and to actually see somebody breaking down some of the notes and tell you what they smell. And that's one thing I always like to do. And I haven't told you guys what I smell. I don't believe I have in this video yet, but as far as the notes are concerned, I mean, for me, when I smell this fragrance, and okay, so I definitely get